Welcome back to the set of Can We Build a House in Costa Rica in 90 Days or Less? Hey, today we are talking about lot preparations. What do you have to do in order to prepare your lot before you build your house in Costa Rica? You know, in the United States or Canada, wherever you're coming from, whenever you get ready to build a house, odds are you're not even thinking about lot preparations because in most cases, you're going to go to a subdivision and you're simply going to take a look at it and you're going to pick out the lot you want to live in. The developer has already prepared the lot preparation part of it for you. He's already established the roads. He's already put in all of the utilities, the water, the electric. He's done all of the lot preparations for you. And that's most cases, whether you're coming from the United States, Canada, and in most countries. Most of those places are already well developed. Now, there are times in the United States and other countries where you're possibly building on farmland or raw land, and then you have to think about, okay, what is the road like? But even then, in most cases, well, the utilities, the electrical, all of that stuff is at the road. The road is there, and the road is normally going to be blacktop. Well, in Costa Rica, it's important to understand that most of the roads are going to be gravel in most cases, not always. But when you're coming to a beautiful place like Costa Rica, you really have to think ahead because there's a lot more to do when it comes to lot preparations. So, no pun intended, but when it's time to prepare your lot for construction in Costa Rica, there's a lot that needs to be done. So today we're going to take a look at and talk about several of those things. You can build a house in Costa Rica and enjoy beautiful beaches, and sometimes we get a reminder of His promise of a happy future. Let's get back to building our house in 90 days or less. So let's talk about a few of the things that you need to be aware of when it comes to preparing your lot for construction in Costa Rica. First off, and most importantly, is do you have a road that actually brings you to the actual build site? Now, you may have a road, but it may be more of a trail. So you want to make sure that you have a good solid road. Once you have a good solid road that equipment can come on, do you have a driveway that goes on to the actual build site? Now, while you're doing the driveway, you need to be thinking, how about culverts? Because once you build that driveway, you're also going to have to put in culverts so that the road can still drain. Once you have your driveway coming onto the site build, well, you're going to need to level the actual site build, and then you're going to need a compactor to compact it in order to prepare it for the actual foundation. Well, not only do we need to level that, but depending on the topography and depending on where you're at, for example, here we're in the mountains. Depending on the size of your property, is it big enough that you could just have one level spot, or are you going to have several tiers? In this scenario, we'll probably have more than one tier, which means on the neighboring property, if there's a neighboring property, are we going to have to build a retaining wall to divide his property from ours so that the land doesn't move? Downhill, are we going to need retaining walls? And if you have more than one tier, do you want retaining walls on them so that it doesn't wash? Also, while you're up here and you've got it leveled, you've got your retaining walls, what about drainage? Not only does the road need to drain, but the septic tank is going to need drainage. But where do we place that septic tank? So as we level everything out, you'll be thinking, where is going to be the best place for your septic tank? But your engineer is probably going to help you out with that. Now, not only is where that septic tank goes, but that septic tank also needs to draining. Now, if I back up a little bit, when we level the property, you need to be thinking, okay, I'm going to level the property. Do I have trees in the way? Do I have brush in the way? And eliminate whatever trees that are going to be in the way so that you can level the lot and it still look good. So those are just some of the things that you need to be thinking about when it comes to lot preparations and preparing your lot for construction in Costa Rica. We'll go into detail on each of those things whenever we start getting to each of those items later on in this video.
This is day 10. What? I know what you're saying. Well, what happened to between day 2 and day 10? Well, not a lot happened and a lot happened. You see, it was taking so long to get just some basic things done. Why did it take so long for this crew to level this? Why did it take so long to get material on this road? Why did it seem to take so long? Well, the crew that we had, and I emphasize had, simply just did not have the equipment, did not have the skills. They just were barely moving at sloth pace, and so we had to get rid of that crew, and now we have a new crew. So we got a crew that has a track hoe, and that's what we really needed from the get-go. And some of you folks in the comments said, hey, you need to have something with tracks on it, and we absolutely agreed. However, we were going with recommendations from a developer who said these people are good, and look, they weren't good. So the deal is, and what you need to know, in Costa Rica, was this developer getting some sort of kickback? Was he getting some sort of favor for recommending these people who simply just were inadequate for the job that we needed? I don't know. But it's important that you understand that when you're building a house in Costa Rica, you will run into problems. However, there's always a solution. So we had this big problem that it was taking way too long. It was taking so long to get this thing leveled, I began to wonder whether I should just title this whole series, Can We Level a Lot Preparations in 90 Days? I'm telling you, it was blowing my mind at how slow they were moving, okay? So, today, I'm really happy to announce that we have a new crew, and here on day 10, they've already got a lot of stuff done. So they've already done some repairs in just a short time today to the road coming up to the lot, and the track hoe is here. He's already knocking down some trees. He's already done a lot better leveling than this other guy did before, this other crew, and so he's getting after it. He's already cleaned out the area where the septic tank goes, and so hopefully we're going to see a lot of things happen this week. And another thing that we're accomplishing while we're doing this build is collecting a whole database of contractors, architects, engineers, people that can actually do the job. This way, whenever you schedule that free 20-minute phone consultation, we have everything that you need so that you don't run into the problems that we're running into here. So if you haven't done so already, make sure that you go down to the description below. In that very first comment, you can schedule your free 20-minute phone consultation so you can avoid the headaches, the lost time, and the lost money that it would take to try to do this on your own.
This new crew really got after it and finished leveling this lot enough that they could start digging the drainage area for our septic tank, the one we've been waiting so long or tried to install on day 1. We're finally starting to get some things done. Wow, the place for the septic tank is ready and the leach field has been dug.
All right, this is day 10 of our 90-day challenge of Can We Build a House in Costa Rica. And it's only day 1 for the new crew who has arrived, and after a half a day's work, this one guy on the track hoe has single-handedly accomplished just as much, if not more, than this other crew did in almost a week's time. So I'm really impressed. Now maybe with this new crew, we'll be able to get caught up because 10 days have been wasted and I've got stuff to do. So you let me know in the comments below, do you think we're going to be able to catch up now that we've got a new crew? Because we haven't run into a single problem today, and it's amazing when you've got the right people, you've got the right equipment, you can get things done. The septic tank, once it gets full, obviously every septic tank is going to need some sort of drainage, and that is what this is. And when it comes out, it's going to flow through this drainage. Now, to set up a drainage properly, you'll have rocks and concrete, things like that, so that it can seep into the ground and it's supposed to be clean. Anyway, it's going to go through this trench and there's several giant holes in here which will help to be able to absorb more of that water. So now that our drainage ditch for our septic tank is complete, the operator on our track hoe is laying down more road material. Whenever these big trucks come in here, they're going to need to come up. Some of them are going to back in, but there's a little more to that story that I'll tell you a little bit later.
But the day is done, and I think I'll do like these monkeys and see if I can find me something to eat.